Hello and welcome to this View from the Eagle's Nest video. My name is Ian Henderson and I'm proud and privileged to be the Director of Training here at Eagle Training. Today's video is all about something called Ron's Iceberg, and I'd like to introduce it to you. Now, to give that some context, have you ever seen someone do something and thought, why on earth did they do that? Have you ever done something yourself and thought, why on earth did I do that? Well, Ron's Iceberg actually offers you a simple way of understanding why people do the craziest of things sometimes. So what exactly is Ron's Iceberg? Well, it's a model of behaviour that's based on the work of Sigmund Freud back in the early 1900s and describes how our conscious mind is only about 10% of us, that sits above the less conscious part of us, but influences our judgments, our feelings and our behaviour. Now, we call it Ron's Iceberg for two reasons. One, because it uses the analogy of an iceberg, and two, because the man that introduced me to it all those years ago was called Ron. So how exactly does Ron's Iceberg work? Well, if you can imagine the iceberg, which has 10% or so above the waterline and the other 90% below the waterline, if you think about the above the waterline part of the iceberg, that is really the external person. If you like, that's the external me as you're watching this video. It's what I do and it's what I say. Now, just below the waterline are my immediate feelings. So my question to you is, can you tell how I'm feeling just from how I'm behaving? Well, maybe if you knew me reasonably well, you could hazard a good guess at that, but maybe not. So just below our feelings in the iceberg then are our immediate thinking patterns. Now, they're deeper down, obviously, and you can have a sort of spectrum of thinking patterns from, at the one extreme, the pessimist way of thinking, and at the other extreme, the more optimistic way of thinking, and obviously all points in between. So let me ask you a similar question. From the way I'm behaving, the external me, can you tell how I'm thinking? Well, unless you know me really well, that's probably going to be a little bit harder to do. So what then drives our thinking patterns, and whether it's on the more pessimistic or the more optimistic end of the spectrum? Well, way down deep in the iceberg, way down deep in the water, are our beliefs and our values. Now, our beliefs are really the meaning of certainty we have about things which we believe to be true. Now, we haven't got time in this video to talk about beliefs to any great depth, but we will act as if they are true. That's the thing about a belief. It may be true, it may not be true, but we act as if it is true. A value is something which is important to us and would include things like honesty, loyalty, trust and respect. And both our beliefs and our values were put there by some very well-meaning people in our lives, notably our parents in our early years. The point is that our beliefs and our values are far less conscious to us than our thinking patterns, our feelings and our more conscious behaviour. So how can you use Ron's Iceberg? Well, you can use Ron's Iceberg to become more curious about someone when they do something. So the next time you see someone do something and you think that's crazy, rather than labelling them as crazy, the question in your mind now might be, I wonder why. I wonder why they've just done that, or I wonder why I've just done that. And the answer will probably lie somewhere below the waterline. It might be because someone's feeling a certain way. It might be because someone's thinking a certain way, or it might be a manifestation of a deep-seated belief and value. Become more curious, become less judgmental. I hope you found this video useful today. If you have, please look out for the next View from the Eagle's Nest. Thank you very much.